last year my draft coverage was not nearly as extensive as I wanted it to be. I did top 10 positional breakdowns, and by breakdowns I mean I made TikToks and uploaded them as shorts. I did a couple player profiles, but it was nothing crazy. This year I want to go all in. We're still going to do that kind of stuff, but I also want to do film breakdowns for my favorite players, for players I really like. Because number one, I like doing film breakdowns. It's fun. And number two, I just want to do more draft coverage. I think this is a great way to do draft coverage. So my goal this year is from here on through the draft, and maybe even a little bit after the draft, to talk about 2 to 3 prospects a week through a film breakdown. First player we're going to be talking about is Drake Maye, because he is the top quarterback on my draft board. Now, with him and Caleb Williams, it's 1A, 1B. I just like Drake a tad bit more, and I'm really focused on the quarterbacks this year because I'm a Bears fan, and we're going to be drafting one. Now, do I think Drake Maye is going to be the one we draft? No, I think Caleb is going to be the quarterback we take, which you can't go wrong either way. But for my personal evaluations, I do like Drake a little bit more. And another disclaimer before we jump into this, I do want to make it clear when I'm doing these videos, I'm not here to be a hater. I'm not here to be, that guy that is like, this player sucks. I hate him. I don't think you should draft him. I don't want to be that. I saw a great tweet from Brett Coleman a few weeks ago where he was talking about how, during this time, you have a lot of players, their family members, their friends, they're going to be looking up their names. And I don't want to contribute to the negativity that they're going to see. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like every prospect's perfect. I will talk about what they struggle with, but I'm not going to be here and be like, he is terrible at this one thing and this is going to be his downfall. I'm going to say, no, he can improve here, right? We're going to try to keep a positive tone in this. That's what I'm trying to convey here. But with all that out of the way, with all the rambling out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into Drake Maye's game against Duke this year and take a look at what he did right, what he did wrong, and just appreciate how good of a quarterback prospect he is. All right, here we are in the first quarter, early third and 3 for North Carolina here. For UNC, we're looking at a trips look, one wide receiver by himself down at the bottom of the screen, and then you've got your running back in the backfield. As for Duke, it's pretty much straight up man coverage. Not pretty much, it is just straight up man coverage here. We've got a little cover one action with the safety here. And then as for these two, this is the key. They're sending the house. They're sending some heat. We've got these two linebackers going to come in on a blitz. Once this ball is snapped, this blitz gets a little exotic, which we'll take a look at here. So 35 rushes the quarterback. This linebacker ends up dropping in coverage. And then this edge right here, he's going to fake a blitz and then cut back and drop in coverage. Looking at Drake's receivers here, if we rewind just a little bit here, we're looking at something along these lines. Oh my goodness. Just know that's meant to be a corner. I'll just have him run it shallower than he's actually supposed to. We've got like a slant and one of these, right? This is what we're working with here. This corner is meant to be a little deeper, but my box is in the way here. So again, you'll have to excuse me on that front. But basically, Drake's just got to deal with the pressure here and deliver a throw on third down. Running back doesn't do a great job of taking care of the linebacker. He gets through pretty quickly, and everything's covered up. I mean, this guy, he's going to run his route directly into the zone of the safety. This guy's covered up, and man, he's not going to have time to wait for this to develop. Same thing with this slant. He's covering this up pretty well. So this is our saving grace. This receiver right here is what we're looking for. Drake sees that. He's got his eyes on him here. So what's going to end up happening if I can clear my damn screen is Drake's going to try to step up in the pocket here and deliver this throw. 35 ends up grabbing him by the waist. Does a great job. That's what you're supposed to do when you're dealing with a quarterback, trying to sack him when he's on the move there. So Drake ends up just saying, screw it, and just tosses it up. And he hits this receiver perfectly in the chest on the run. We'll take a look at it from this other angle here. Also note, interesting fashion choice here. I don't watch a lot of college football. I just watch film. But this right here, the one leg sleeve look, I respect it. I'm with it. Not that it matters, obviously. You're not here for quarterback fashion advice, but I'm with it. So you can see the running back gets tossed pretty quickly. I said that was an edge rusher. That was a corner. Fuck you, number 2. I didn't know what you were. But yeah, Drake, he puts this perfectly where it needs to be. Hits the receiver in stride. Doesn't throw it at the receiver. He throws the receiver open here on this play. Hits him directly in the chest for the first down. Beautiful, beautiful play there by Drake Maye. All right, another third and short situation here for North Carolina. This time we've got a 3 wide receiver set. Got a tight end running back in the backfield. So this play, beautiful, beautiful throw by Drake Maye. He has one of the prettiest deep balls I have seen out of a college prospect. Mind you, I've only been scouting since 2021, but in the couple years I've been scouting, he has probably the prettiest deep ball I've seen. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous throw. Puts it right in the basket, right where only his receiver can get it. You can critique this play if you want to be a real stickler. I'll bring it up because I know the comments are always real sticklers. The first thing that stands out to me here, it's 3rd and 2. You've got your running back wide open here. You've got this tight end that's going to be wide open. Maybe you don't need to take the deep shot here. Maybe you can settle. Maybe you can dump it down here, just pick up the first down. But hey, in terms of situation, 3rd and 2, right around the 50, early in the game against a rival, you have the leverage you want here. You know Tez is going to be able to burn this guy. I'm not against it. I don't hate the decision. I love the decision. In fact, I think it's ballsy. I think it's the right type of decision. It's what you want to see out of a franchise quarterback. You want him to be able to say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to hit this. I know I can hit this. I'm going to hit it. We'll take a look at it from this angle again because this throw, beautiful. Throws it with touch, which is a big thing for Drake Maye. A lot of people have kind of questioned his ability to throw with touch. He puts plenty of touch under this ball. That's for damn sure. I absolutely love this throw. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Again, puts it right where only Tez is going to get it, right over top of the DB. Just the perfect throw in this situation. 1st and 10 here for the Tar Heels. We're just going to let this play out from this angle, and then we're going to go to the end zone angle and actually break down the play because it's easier to show you what's happening here. So the receiver you just saw this ball get thrown to, you can see his shoulder right here. This is the main read, right? This is what we're going for. I'm going to crudely draw the route he's supposed to run. Basically, he's running like a little bit of a comeback route here, or not a comeback route. It would be a curl route. Excuse me. I drew it how I would draw a comeback route. He's going to run a curl route. And then this running back is going to run like a little bit of a sit-down route here. And that's going to force this linebacker right here, number 35, into a bit of conflict. Because Duke is running a zone. I believe it's some sort of Tampa 2. I don't exactly remember. Looking at it from this angle isn't going to show me. But it's some sort of cover 2. I believe it's a cover 2 zone. And that's going to put this linebacker in a really disadvantageous situation because he has to guard both of these routes with both of them developing right in his zone. Drake's going to pick up on this pretty quickly and capitalize on it, right? So we'll go ahead and snap the ball here. Once this ball is snapped, you can see the receiver, he runs it a bit more to the outside than I initially thought, but you can see Drake's eyes are right there. That's his first read. The linebacker here, his eyes are on the back and on the receiver. Like I said, he's in an area of conflict. So what Drake is going to do is he's going to hesitate for just a second. This millisecond of hesitation is so key right there because this linebacker was starting to pursue on the receiver here. And when Drake hesitates, he stops, right? So he does a little bit of something like that. And that second of hesitation right here is key because it gives Drake the opportunity to fit this ball into the receiver. And not only does it allow him to get it to the receiver, but it also allows the receiver to take a inside cut and take advantage of the leverage he has over this linebacker. So we run it back one more time. What I'm trying to show you here is Drake does a great job of freezing this linebacker with his motion and with his eyes. And that's going to create an advantageous situation for his wide receiver. All right, 3rd and 4 on the same drive. This play is a great example of how Drake Maye understands leverage and how he's able to use that to manipulate his throws and manipulate his wide receivers. So this receiver here, this is who the ball is going to go to right here in the slot. And what ends up happening is he's running an out route. But because of the way this route ends up going, which is a fade or streak go route, it gets clumped up like right in here. And because of this DB can come down and tackle the receiver pretty much instantly. Drake's going to recognize that this DB is sat down right about here, maybe a little bit deeper, but there's all this green grass right here. So what we're going to see Drake do is he's actually going to throw this ball on an, mind you, this receiver's running an out route again. On this out route, he's going to throw the ball to the receiver's inside shoulder to lead him upfield, and they pick up a couple extra yards because of it here to move the chains. So you'll see right there, because of that outside ball placement, that receiver is able to be guided upfield. Like I said, there's that little bit of, what's it called? A little bit of congestion right there. The receiver can't quite finish his route downfield. So because of that, he's able to make a play quickly. If this ball were to be going outside, he's getting tackled right here. Because he throws it inside, he's able to pick up a couple extra yards here. It's nothing crazy, but the subtleties of this football is a game of inches. So picking up that extra yard or two here is crucial. And it's done just because Drake is using his understanding of leverage and spatial awareness to be able to complete this pass and put the ball where it needs to be so the receiver can be led upfield. All right, we've got a 4th and 1 situation here for the Tar Heels on the 1-yard line. And this is one of the best plays I've ever seen. So this is what we're looking at, right? No one that you can see on the screen right now is going to get the football. Drake's obviously going to have the ball. It's going to get snapped to him, but none of the people on the screen are going to make the play. Now we see the tight end run up out of nowhere, and he's going to be wide open. Drake's dealing with pressure here. He's just got to float this ball over to the tight end, right? Pretty routine thing. But with how quickly this edge rusher is coming at him, Drake ends up getting hit before he can let it rip. But he throws it perfectly. While he's going down, places this ball perfectly for the tight end. He's able to score the touchdown on 4th and 1. The ball placement, or I'm sorry, not the ball placement. The ball placement's fine. That's nothing bad. But the fact that he's able to make this throw while falling backwards and having a defensive lineman wrapped around his ankles is pretty impressive. I'm definitely impressed with how Maye is able to throw the ball off platform. And this is a fantastic example of that. Plus, I wanted to show off this goofy play because I adore what I just witnessed. All right, 1st and 10 here, and we're going to get a great example of Drake being able to get through his progressions and end up settling on the check down when nothing else is open downfield. So what's going to happen here is we're going to get a lot of congestion here on this left side of the field. This receiver is going to run a go route, and he's going to be covered up pretty well, and this safety here is going to read it perfectly. So this go route's gone. You can't hit this. Drake's got a big route developing over the middle here. There's going to be a shit ton of congestion right here, so Drake's not going to be able to do that. However, his tight end, I'm not sure where he lines up at the start of the play. Once the play gets going, I'll be able to show you. I know him by his number, not by his build. He ends up just leaking wide open here. So you'll be able to see right here, the tight end, he kind of runs like a little bit of a bubble screen, but not quite. And then everyone else is going downfield. So like I said, the first read on this play, from what I can tell, looks to be this route here over the middle. So you get kind of like a crosser here. That's where Drake's eyes are at. You're not hitting this with 3 defenders right here. You're not throwing that pass. That would be a very ill-advised throw. So then you've got this go route here. And like I said, this DB, his eyes are locked down on it. You're not getting there. This go route, or whatever this ends up being, I believe it's go route. It's covered. You're not hitting this. Drake gets through his progressions quickly, realizes that. Oh, it ends up being an in-breaking route. But even then, this in-breaking route, you've got this DB coming down. You've got this DB here. You got this DB that can come in and make a play. You're not hitting this either. So nothing open. Drake does a great job of stepping up against pressure here, delivering to the tight end. So like I said, eyes downfield, that's a big thing with Drake. Eyes are always downfield. He's never looking to run. The play breaks down. He does a great job of keeping his eyes downfield, making sure he can get through his progressions, making sure he can find something open. And then if he physically can't find anything open, he'll run. It's not that he won't run. That's just, he's not a run-first quarterback. He doesn't bail from the pocket and bail on the play completely when things start to break down. He's great at being able to stay calm and deliver here. So like I said, you've got this tight end wide open, and Drake's going to end up working back to him, hits him for a quick throw, and leads him, or he ends up going upfield to pick up the first down on the play. All right, 1st and 10 here, and this play, first of all, you can see they're snapping the ball with Duke switching guys out. So this play is very interesting, to say the least, right off the bat, right? So as soon as Drake gets the ball here, he's surveying the field. He's getting through his reads. We've got, this is covered up. This is covered up. This is obviously covered up. He's got the comeback here, but his eyes are not there yet. He's got to work back to this comeback. The way this play is going to work out, As soon as Drake starts to scramble out, this receiver that ran the comeback, he's cutting upfield. Drake's going to recognize that. Got nothing but green grass here. So Drake's going to put it where only this receiver can get it. Turns this into a 50-50 ball. You can see the main reason he throws this into a 50-50 ball is because these two DBs are starting to trigger down. So if you try to put this out in front, or diagonal or out in front, these guys could trigger to it. So you're going to want to put this where only your receiver can get it, places it high, makes it so he has to go up and get it. He's able to go up and get it. Great understanding of leverage, great understanding of what your receivers are capable of doing, and just a good job of, once again, working through his progressions and getting back to where he needed to get to pick up positive yards on one of the weirdest broken plays I've seen watching film this offseason so far. We've got a 1st and 10 on the 1 yard line, and sometimes these quarterbacks got to realize it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? This is going to be a great example of how do I want to word this? The concern with Drake that sometimes he makes errant decisions, because he does from time to time. He's no worse than like Josh Allen, but he does make an errant decision from time to time, and this is a big example of that. So, first of all, deep in your own end zone, right? You don't want to Orlovsky yourself. So you got to stay in the pocket here. There's not a lot of room to move. And Duke has this covered up pretty well. I mean, he's already ready to rip here when number 2 here breaks open. We've got number 9, Tez Walker. He's got 1, 2, 3 guys in his area. This guy's completely covered up. Drake does not have the time to work his way back to number 2 here. I mean, maybe you'd want him to do that in an ideal situation, but under this kind of pressure, I understand it. It's not right. I'm not saying he did the right thing, but I understand it. So he's just going to let this rip, and he ends up completely sailing the ball. I'm not even sure who he was going to. I guess he was going to Tez here, and he ends up throwing an interception. Obviously not ideal here, but again, under pressure on your own 1 yard line, nothing's really open. I get it. It's shitty that he was in this situation to begin with, especially when you have your tight end one-on-one blocking an edge rusher, and 75 here can't help pick it up. So you're under pretty quick pressure, but you just can't throw that. You simply cannot throw that. Again, I guess he was going for Tez. Maybe he was trying to throw it away and just didn't have the time to put as much air under it as he wanted to. But you simply cannot throw that. That is a very ill-advised throw. But I mean, I don't know. Looking back at it, I don't know what else he could have done here. Maybe try to let it rip quicker, but I mean, he's got pressure pretty much as soon as he gets to the top of his drop. Like, this is him at the top of his drop. Got pressure here, pressure here. I don't know. It's a really tough situation. It's a really tough situation. I don't know. I feel like he can't throw that. 3rd and 3 here, and listen, man, for every ill-advised throw from Drake Maye, you get a sick go route on the sideline. We see one right here to Tez Walker. Perfect placement, puts it where only Tez is going to be able to go up and get it, makes him climb the ladder because he understands that Tez is fully capable of doing that. This isn't a play where he has to get through a bunch of progressions. It's his first read here. Just lets that sucker rip. Tez goes up, gets it. Very MVS in that way. Tez Walker, I haven't done my actual evaluation on him yet, so bear with me. But from what I've seen of Tez, he's very MVS, right? So the key here on this play, Drake identifies pre-snap, this is cover 1, or something similar, right? Pre-snap, they're showing cover 1. You might have to deal with this DB coming up or something. But pre-snap, you identify this as cover 1, meaning you're getting one-on-one with your number 1 receiver that you trust as a downfield threat. So once this ball is snapped, you realize this is a cover 1 man here because 23 is mirroring your slot receiver. Drake knows right away, I can sail this, or not sail this, but I can full send it to Tez here. Again, we can look back at it considering this is 3rd and short. You're taking a deep shot like that. We'll take a look at some of the other routes developing on this play, see if maybe there was a safer route to go. But no, it looks like they're sending everybody deep here. I guess you've got the tight end on the comeback, 5 on the comeback. Well, you've got a couple guys on the comeback, but as soon as they are starting to make their break, as soon as they're in a position where you'd want to throw it to them on this type of play, Drake's already hauling off. Like he already knows he's going to Tez. So again, You could make the argument that maybe you go for the shorter route. I don't like this play call on 3rd and 3 again. I don't like sending. The play says 3rd and 3, but I mean, the sticks are all the way up here. Am I crazy? Am I looking at this wrong? The 3rd and 3, ball on the 33. Where are the sticks? I don't know. They got me confused. But the point is, I get the idea of like, hey, maybe you want him to dump this off a little shorter. Sure. But when you got a quarterback that can make this kind of throw, and he does so consistently, who cares? You're like almost at the 50. Fuck it. You know, I'm in favor of it. I'm definitely in favor of it. All right, 4th and 9 here. We got to get a first down, obviously, and I'm really impressed by Drake's ability to get this ball out quickly, and to be able to make the right read. We'll take a look here. So working through his progressions, 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds, roughly 3, maybe 3.5. Drake's able to get this ball out and, complete the first down. You can see the eye movement here. He reads this field left to right. So he gets through his progressions very quickly, drops back, throws this ball, throws it a little bit inside because he sees the way the DB is attacking here. So the DB, they're playing off coverage. The DB is fading up. He's going to have to come back at an angle to the sideline. So Drake places this ball the opposite direction the DB is going, right? The DB is coming in this way. Drake places the ball this way type of thing. Maybe not exactly, but in that range, right? A little bit off on the measurements there, perhaps. But he does lead this upfield. Make sure he throws the ball beyond the sticks. Puts it low so the DB can't make a play on it. Lets his receiver get up underneath of it. That's an easy first down. We'll take a look at it again just so you can see the head movement to show he's going through his progressions pretty quickly here. That was to his number 1 receiver too. So, just a quick hitter. Throws it low to Tez, knows he can rely on his guy, which, take that as you will, right? I'm not a big Tez Walker fan, but he trusts him. That's what matters. He knows he can get him there on the first down, and that's exactly what they do. All right, same drive, 3rd and 3. We're going to see some Houdini stuff here. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. So first of all, Duke's sending a blitz. Obviously, they've got the box stacked here. It looks like they're in man coverage, cover 1 man, most likely. Got your single high, very crudely drawn man coverage, but you get the point here. So Drake's going to snap this ball, and it's kind of like what they did earlier, where you send the Mike, or send one middle linebacker, the other one, he looks like he's more in a spy than anything. Then you get 3 coming up here to play a little bit of a deep zone, 2 playing like a shallow zone here. So the running back whiffs this, gets beat completely. Drake has his eyes downfield. He wants one of these 2 routes here. He's got his guys with leverage breaking in. They've got a step. So he's just kind of ready to let this rip. But as he's ready to let it rip, he has to pull it back down because 35 is about to hit the ball out of his hands. He goes for the ball. Very smart move by the linebacker. So Drake's going to tuck this. You don't want to fumble the ball here, obviously, because there's not a lot of Tar Heels right there. There's a lot of green grass in front of these 2 Duke defenders. So if they can scoop and score, not ideal, right? So he tucks it. He's like, you know what? We'll live to see another day. If I take this sack, I take this sack. However, because he's Drake fucking Maye, he doesn't take this sack. And instead, we'll take a look from this other angle here. Ends up hitting the drag route here for an absolutely beautiful off-platform throw. And it ends up being a little bit of a broken play. This guy ends up fading away. It's Tez Walker again. Tez ends up fading away here. Drake sees that. While he's going down, throws it off platform at like a wide angle, hits him right in the chest, and Tez is able to take it for the first down. Just an awesome broken play save there by Drake Maye. I do really like the decision to pull the ball down and be willing to take that sack in that situation because you're still in field goal range. You get sacked, take your 3, don't turn the ball over there. But to be able to go from, live to see another day to screw it, we're going to sidearm this, hit my guy, and pick up a first down is a really impressive adjustment there from the young quarterback. All right, same drive, a little bit later. We've got these 2 receivers running slants here, and up a little bit deeper. Again, ignore my crude routes. I'm not great at this yet. And everyone else is blocking. So you're relying on this little square right here. This is the play. You got to read this out. And what ends up happening pretty quickly is you're going to see this route on the underneath gets cut off. This corner does a really good job of playing it. So you're looking at the guy over top, hoping he can get his break, get a step on his man. He does do that. There's a little bit of getting tangled right there, which is going to slow down this receiver, but Drake's already throwing the ball. And it ends up going just a little bit out of reach. If this receiver doesn't get tangled up towards the end of the route here, this is a touchdown. Drake places this ball absolutely perfectly, puts it away from the defender into open space where the receiver should be able to get it. But just getting tangled up for like that millisecond there puts the ball just out of reach, and he's unable to complete it. So Drake did everything he had to do. It was really good coverage, and it was almost a really good play by Drake Maye. But, you know, still a fine play. He made the right read. He assessed the situation. He assessed the leverage. Again, he's really good at identifying leverage with his receivers over DBs, and it just doesn't work out in this situation.
When we were talking about that interception Drake threw earlier in this game, I said this is, you know, like Josh Allen. Josh Allen's not immune to making plays like this. Something else Drake Maye has in common with Josh Allen is there's times where he just doesn't have a care for his own safety. And we see that right here, where he, I would say, successfully hurdles a DB. He doesn't clear him, but he does get over top of him and gain additional yards. So you're going to see Drake takes this read option, stays up. I like his balance a lot. He was able to kind of run through ankle tackle there. You see him one-on-one. He is recognizing this DB. And with the way the two of them are positioned, he's getting a really good block here by 81, and he's getting a good block here by Tez Walker. So if he's able to clear number 2, he's in the end zone. He recognizes that. He slows down a little bit because 2 puts himself in a great position. Drake says, you know what, fuck you. I'm going to try to go up and over. Doesn't quite work, but I mean, I guess it does work because he gets a yard. He gets a couple extra inches, maybe a yard. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that in here because I was like, if I'm going to say Drake has some things in common with Josh Allen that are bad, I should probably show the thing he has in common with him that's good. All right, we got a 2nd and 13 here in the third quarter. And the key on this play is going to be this safety. Drake needs to read this safety because on the left side of the field here, we've got a go route, and then we've got this in-breaking route, right? So if this safety plays back, you hit this in-breaking route right where he's at now, or maybe a little bit before. If he plays in or plays down, you've got Tez Walker one-on-one on a go route up the sideline, and we know Drake Maye loves that matchup. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at how this play works out. The DB plays in. Drake's eyes are right there to recognize that. So he's going to shift his attention to the sideline, and as soon as Tez gets like half a step on his man, Drake's letting that shit fly. Beautiful, beautiful throw to the sideline. We'll take a look at it again from the other angle so I can explain the ball placement here because the ball placement is pristine. Absolutely perfect here. So Drake is going to play this a little closer to the sideline. He's going to put this ball closer to the sideline because of the leverage here. You've got Tez Walker. He's inside of the DB here. So you want to place this inside so he can track this to the sideline, keep himself open here. Just a beautiful, beautiful throw. We'll play that back real quick. God, I love Drake Maye's deep ball. He's got one of the prettiest deep balls in all of college football that I've seen, and I would honestly say at any level. He's got one of my favorite deep balls. Very Justin Herbert-esque with how quick and effortless it is. I mean, just, it's beautiful, man. You can hang that shit in the Louvre. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff right there. All right, we got a 1st and 10 here, down by 3. This is another play where Drake's going to have to read a single high safety. Because if we look at the route tree here, we get this wide receiver on a deep post, a little bit deeper than that. We get an in-breaking route here. We get a crosser here. And then the running back takes this short, right? So what we're looking at here is this DB. If he comes down
again, as we've seen 100 times now, Tez Walker one-on-one downfield. We know Drake Maye likes to test that. But also if he comes down, that probably takes away this backside dig. It also probably takes away this crosser. If he plays this deep, backside dig has a higher likelihood of being open if this linebacker carries with the crosser. If this linebacker steps back, crosser's probably going to be wide open. All else fails, you got your running back, check it down to him. What we're going to get here is, as this ball snapped, this DB immediately turns his body, or starts to turn his body inside to keep up with the dig, right? So because of that, Drake's going to let this, or actually he ends up taking the crosser, but Drake's going to let this shit fly. Perfect placement, and can't quite connect. It gets dropped. But we take a look at it again here. I really like Drake stepping up against the pressure here. You can see right here, this tackle gets beat pretty much immediately. So Drake's going to step up into the pocket, away from the pressure, and he's going to let that shit rip. Again, under pressure too. He's got a hand in his face while he's making this throw. And the placement here is perfect. So what you've got here is your DB, or your wide receiver has a step on the DB. You can't place this vertical because that's not the way the wide receiver is running. You want to place this out in front of him as much as possible. And he ends up placing it low so the DB can't get in on the throw. So the placement here is perfect. The DB, or the wide receiver, is trying to track this into the end zone. And it's a tough catch because of the position the DB puts the receiver in. But the placement's perfect, the read's perfect, the throw's perfect. Everything on Drake is perfect. And that's what I'm here to care about. Steps up. Again, just an effortless throw. And he hits, listen, I don't care what anybody says. That ball hit him in the chest. That needs to be a catch. That needs to be a catch. I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here, because if you're watching this video, you probably know if the ball hits you in the chest, you got to catch it. But I don't care how tough that throw is, Tez. You got to bring that down. You got to give us another Drake highlight touchdown. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen, but the throw, the read, stepping up away from pressure, everything on Drake's part was perfect, and that's what I care about here. All right, we get a 3rd and 14 here. This is going to be a little bit of an interesting concept. So you get like a little bubble screen here. You get this receiver running something a little bit deep, and then you get the slot here almost in like a scissors concept, right? And Drake's going to end up hitting this tight end here because of what happens back here. A lot of congestion happens with the DB, so we'll go ahead and play it here, and I'll be able to break it down for you. So, because this DB takes the deep route here, this DB takes that, there's going to be an opening right here. Duke's in a zone. This receiver, this defender is going to have to pick up this Tez Walker here, and that's going to leave so much open space right here for this big bot. I think it's a tight end. I'm not going to say for sure, because I don't know North Carolina's roster that well, despite being a North Carolina fan. I'm more of a college basketball fan, but that's neither here nor there. You're going to get a lot of open space right in here, like I said, and Drake's going to drop this ball in the bucket. So you get that open space. Now, this DB does a really good job of reading Drake and recovering. So Drake is going to recognize that. He places that ball high, so the receiver here has to go up for it. And when your receiver's bigger than the guy guarding him, he's probably going to catch that. And that's what ends up happening here. The receiver, or the DB, tries to go up over top of him. Doesn't work. They try to say it was an interception. It's not. It's very clearly a catch. Duke just trying to get away with a fast one there. But, the read here, again, perfect. Nice little pump fake there, too. I forgot to bring that up. He ends up pump faking this to kind of further sell this DB to bite down. So we'll take a look at that real quick, too. So immediately, eyes go to Tez Walker here. This DB recognizes that and cuts down. He pump fakes it to further sell it, because this is like a fake screen type of play. And that also brings these two down a little bit, because they're looking at Drake Maye pump faking. They start to, like that linebacker earlier, they take a step forward, doesn't work out, so they end up dropping back there. You can see they have to correct themselves real quick. That opens up all that space. This DB didn't play this perfectly like he did. This is a touchdown. But because he did, it's still a very, very good gain. They get a first down on the play. But this is a DB playing perfect coverage away from a really big touchdown. And it's a beautiful throw, beautiful placement, beautiful read. Just Drake Maye's game is beautiful, if that's not apparent. I know I keep saying beautiful, but it's the perfect way to describe what I'm seeing here.
Same drive, down by 3, 2nd and 15, just under 2 minutes left to go. Here, we get a fade route up the sideline. We get a curl, we get a comeback, and we get like a slot fade. He ends up taking this a little bit further out. But Drake, he's got to read the DBs here, as you do. And this is going to be perfect ball placement. So because this is man, and you get this DB biting down, that opens this up completely. This is a wide open one-on-one situation with a big body pass catcher and a small DB. So Drake, again, understanding leverage perfectly, is going to put this towards the corner of the end zone. So this is the tight end, actually. I know for a fact this is the tight end. This is Nesbitt. He puts it towards the sideline, and the way the DB's playing this way too aggressively, wrapping himself up around the tight end, Nesbitt is able to track this ball. He's going to be able to climb the ladder, or I guess not climb the ladder, but kind of like fade back and let this ball hit him in the hands. The throw is absolutely perfect. Flags thrown, DPI. We'll watch this back again one more time from this angle here. Just a perfect throw. Again, place that ball out in space, put it high so the big boy can go get it. That's exactly what Drake does here. Results in a big touchdown. And, you know, we can see here, this game's still going on. This one ends up going to overtime. So we got one more play to look at that'll actually be in overtime. 2nd and 2 in overtime, and this is a really ballsy play by Drake Maye. Really ballsy, but it works out perfectly. So this is a screen. This is a screen designed for, I think this is a Marion Hampton over here. It's designed for this guy right here. What's going to end up happening is this screen is going to get blown up before Drake can even throw it. This DB does a great job against this blocker. He's ready to shed pretty much immediately, and Drake's going to recognize that and do something very, very risky, but it ends up working out. So he reads this. This blocker steps into the DB. The DB's got a good step on him. So Drake's going to recognize that. He's going to turn his eyes upfield, try to figure out something here. You've got Nesbitt, who's pretty much concerned with blocking, means you've got one receiver, and he's going to try to run into the back of the end zone here. That's going to, Drake turning his head and starting to move upfield is going to bring this DB down, which means this is going to be wide open. You just got to hit that. But with all of this congestion here, it doesn't look like Drake's in a great spot to do that. However, because he's Drake freaking Maye, he steps up through traffic, takes a hit from a linebacker while throwing, and places this ball perfectly for the tight end or receiver. I think it's a tight end to be able to make the play. They get the points here. And I think this is the game-winning play, if I'm not mistaken. It is, judging by the time on this video. But again, just being able to improvise. This is a ballsy play, but he pulls it off because, once again, he's Drake freaking Maye. There you have it, folks. Drake Maye against the Duke Blue Devils. A lot of good, a little bit of not so great. Definitely some room to improve, but he's still young. He's a fantastic prospect. Obviously, love the arm talent. Love the ability to attack the middle of the field. Love the progressions. Love the athleticism. Love the pocket presence. There's a lot to love with Drake Maye. There's a reason why he is my favorite quarterback prospect I think I've evaluated, period, at least in the past 3 years. The only guy that kind of comes close in terms of prospects, not in terms of what they did in the league. As a prospect, the only two guys that come close are Caleb Williams and Trevor Lawrence. I think those three guys are all fantastic. And I think all three of them, obviously Trevor's already finding success. I think Drake and Caleb will find a ton of success in the NFL too. But that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below, as it helps out the channel a ton, shows your support, shows you care, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. It helps me get over that procrastination hump that, we're all dealing with on a daily basis, excuse me. Also, make sure to subscribe for more NFL draft content. Like I said, I want to pump out 2 or 3 of these prospect film breakdowns a week, ideally, so you won't want to miss them. So definitely make sure to subscribe, and also comment down below. Tell me what players you want to see me talk about. Your favorite player, your least favorite player, someone totally off the wall, just let me know. There's a good chance I'll probably make a video about them. And also in the comments, let me know how you feel about Drake Maye. Do you think he's a great prospect? Do you think the Bears should look into him at number 1 overall? Do you think he's terrible? Don't tell me if you think he's the next Mitch Trubisky, though, because if you truly think that, you need to find a new hobby.
because evaluating prospects probably isn't for you, because these two do not have much in common. And if you're a washed-up quarterback that's a wannabe analyst and you think he's somehow comparable to Mason Rudolph, please seek employment. But that being said, I hope you all enjoyed. And to everyone out there watching, I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, night, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you enjoy it, because you're all wonderful people and you deserve it.
Had a chance on the throwback.
This was an ill-advised throw. What an unbelievable catch by Cole Kmet. And he cups it too. No movement when he hits the ground, tucked up against his shoulder. Wow.
Using that